10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Chesley Major channel. I'm your host, Chesley Major. Today on the Chesley Major channel, feel free to hit the like button. All right, we are back. Another Wednesday, special edition, Black History Month. And I'm going to cover Claud Anderson. Dr. Claud Anderson is the president of POWERNOMICS Corporation of America and the Harvest Institute. POWERNOMICS is a company that publishes his books and his multimedia presentations. Claud Anderson received his doctorate in education from Wayne State University. He was also the state coordinator of education under Florida Governor Reuben Askew during the 1970s and led President Jimmy Carter's Florida campaign. Carter then named him Assistant Secretary of Commerce. Claud Anderson is the president of the Harvest Institute, a think tank focused on Black issues. Not only is he the author of the book POWERNOMICS, he's also the author of Black Labor, White Wealth, Dirty Little Secrets, Part 1 and 2, and Black Reader 101. When I first heard Claud Anderson speak on POWERNOMICS, it changed my life. If you're not familiar with Claud Anderson, maybe he'll do the same for you. Let's dive into some footage of him at the Rock Newman Show. Let's get into it.
That's coming up right now. I'm Rock Newman, and it is my desire to inspire you with personal stories of extraordinary achievement. My next guest, Dr. Claud Anderson, has written numerous books and produced several videos to help Black folks move up from the bottom of the economic ladder. And he's not shy about saying how far we still have to go.
He speaks a lot about reparations.
You have not
Let's
moved
get back
one
into it.
iota in acquiring the most significant and the most important thing in our society. It is not civil rights. It is not integration that's going to give you equality and equal opportunity. It is what you own and control that makes a difference in your society. If you own and control nothing, you'll get nothing. There is no equal opportunity without having the equal amount of resources and power and wealth to be able to carry it out.
In his books and media presentations, the great doctor talks about the rebuilding of the Black community and the importance of self-sufficiency. And he is a champion for reparations for Black Americans. Let's dive back into this footage.
I would like to start this discussion and try to frame it for those who know you and for those viewers who may not know you. Oftentimes, when proponents of Black equality and liberation express strong views, they may be telling a strong and accurate truth, but they get criticized. You get criticized for talking that Black stuff, and the sense that when you talk about Black empowerment, you are in some way discriminating against white people or others. How do you address that?
Well, very simply, Rock, first of all, let them know that every group on this earth understands that you're in a team relationship. Racism is a team sport. It came into existence as a team. You play as a team or you lose by default. And only with Black folk do people get upset when Black folks start talking about coming together and uniting and working together and cooperating together, buying from each other and supporting each other. You know why?
Yeah, he's spot on point.
Everybody understands when you come together and unify, that signifies strength. And right now, everybody right now is pimping and hustling Black folk. They've been pimping and hustling Black folk for 400 or 500 years. We spend approximately 97% to 98% of all our money outside of our own community, as an example. And we don't practice group economics. We don't practice group politics. All that makes, when we spend 98% of all our money outside of our community, what that does, it makes the other groups enriched. They now are living off of two incomes. They live off of 100% of their money and 98% of our money. And what are we left with is 2%. Where everybody else is living off of 198% of everything, we live off of 2%, which makes it impossible. And so you start talking about unifying black folk, that's a threat. They're saying, you're going to cut off your money from us? You're going to cut off, we're living off of 2 incomes. You're going to reduce us down to 1 income? That's a threat to them. Also, it's a threat when you start talking about unifying blacks and looking out for your own people. That means political possibility of uniting as a political force in this country, which nobody wants to see. That's a threat because all the rest of the people in society are living privileged lifestyles based on what they came in here and got as immigrants. Black folk never had those lifestyles.
Here, he speaks on education in America, even how it began.
The education
Let's dive into
system,
it.
as we presently know it, came into existence. It didn't even exist until after slavery. The present system came into existence, and one of the primary reasons it came into existence was to educate the offsprings of slaves, to be able to give them an educational opportunity. And they structured it so that basically that it would be, even though it would be a manual education, manual art training, but it did come into existence. And to a large degree, black folk contributed to the development of those school systems. They worked hard to build those schools, selling flowers, pies, cooks, and cakes, and building with their own hand. And that was like in 1866. In 1866, keep in mind that up until that point, we had laws in this country that forbade the educating of a black person. Yeah. You get caught teaching a black person to read and write would cost you $100 and 39 lashes with a whip to be caught teaching a black person to read.
Wow, I've known of this, and I must say, when people try to attach their struggle to ours or compare it to Black Americans, I just want you to know there is no comparison.
By what we call fabrication of classes across the country. The emphasis now is on those new fabricated classes. And that came out of the benign neglect policy that was put in place by Richard Nixon back in 1969, 1970. And benign neglect said this: the way you shut down the black civil rights movement in this country and the black power movement in this country is to take the focus off of black folk and put it on minority, women, children, and immigrants. And when they did that, it means make black folk become invisible. Do not exclude black from any public policy. And over the last 50 years, since the 1960s, it is now morphed into what they call political correctness. Political correctness means do not address anything pertaining to black folk, do not include black folk in anything, and at best you can do is put them in some very broad, ambiguous category, significantly the issues of black folk. What I told you is the maldistribution of wealth and resources and controls of things in the country. Black folk are non-competitive. They can't compete. Right here, you're in Washington, D.C., in Chocolate City. All these cities are going to be gentrified. All these major urbans that I'm telling you about, these big cities, they're going to be gentrified.
Dr. Claud Anderson talks about the scheme of things and what's going on, and then he runs down the solutions, how to break free and save ourselves from the situation at hand. Let's dive into it.
People in America, despite the obvious injustice imposed on them throughout much of their history in this country. This was 20 years ago. And in the 5 minutes that we have left, I'd like to see if we could spend some time talking about where there is hope and what can be done to change this dire situation. And it is dire.
It is a dire situation. And the first thing we do is we're going to have to have a new mindset with our people to understand that nobody's going to come rescue black folk and quit depending on other people to ally with you. We're the only people that want to go to the bathroom but want everybody to go to the bathroom with us. And that's a problem. We don't have enough confidence in ourselves to be a competitive people. And so once we get this new mindset, then we have to say there's nothing wrong with having we got to build black communities. It is impossible in theory and in practice for you to be a competitive group of people in a capitalist society without having either a physical community or a broad sense of a community that you can identify with your people if you don't live together. We have neither physical communities anymore, neither we have a sense of community. Everybody in every immigrant group coming to this country, within a matter of a few days to a month after they land here, they would build a physical community. They have Japan towns, China town, French town, German towns, Greek town, Pole town, hockey town, cork towns, Mexican town.
By the way, the interviewer, Rock Newman, considers himself black.
Statistically, we are somewhere at 12% of the population. Mm-hmm. And you say 1/2 of 1% of the wealth.
That's right.
And if the black community were able to achieve an equality of wealth to the percentage that it is of the nation, what a different conversation we'd be having.
It'll be a totally different issue.
Yes, if and when we even the odds stacked against us.
And when you do that, once you build that community, then you start practicing group economics. And typically, see, the rule of thumb in group economics is this, is that your money should bounce 8 to 12 times before it leaves your hands and spin around.
Within the group.
Right. And so in this country right now, Hispanic money typically bounces 6 to 7 times. White money bounces 8 to 12 times. Asian and Arab money bounces 12 to 13 times. 13 to 14 times. Jewish money bounces 18 times. Black money doesn't bounce once.
Yeah. And what you mean by that bounce? It means that you get $1 from a job or a business that you are operating, and you go spend that money with somebody that looks like you.
That's right. You got it. That's what you spend with your own people first. And see, and what's happening right now is that everybody else does this but us. And see, right now, you as long as you've been on this earth, you've never seen, for instance, you go to Chinatown, but Chinese don't come to black towns to buy anything. We don't produce anything. We are zero producers, 100% consumers. Nobody's bringing money to our communities. So our money is not bouncing around. But what I recommend the black folk to do is that once we build these communities and go back to where we used to be. See, one time black folk had businesses. We had some fine businesses before integration. Integration destroyed black communities and black businesses. We used to be able to walk around in any black community. You could find grocery stores, party stores, liquor stores, discount stores, hotels, nightclubs, buses, cab companies, everything. We have nothing now. We got to go back and rebuild these communities. Then start marking your money and say, now I got a $1 bill. I'm gonna put a check mark on this $1 bill. I'm gonna make sure that before this $1 bill leaves a black hand, it must have at least 12 marks on it. And once you start doing that, you can start practicing group economics. Because right now we don't practice that group economics. As soon as a black person gets paid, Rock, he'll run immediately to a suburb or to a non-black owned store and spend his money. But nobody's rushing to spend money with you. So we got a balance of trade deficit. Everybody's coming into our community, setting up McDonald's and Burger Kings and taking the money out, but nobody's bringing the money in. And we're not going to anybody else's community and bringing the money back to the black community. You got a balance of trade deficit. And that is totally destructive for black folk. You're not living off enough money to be able to be a competitive people because you're giving your money away. And
So today, we are honoring Dr. Claud Anderson. We're giving him his flowers while he's still alive, still here on the planet Earth, still doing great services for the black community as needed. I respect his values and his views on group economics, self-sufficiency, and the rebuilding of the black community. Thank you for your many years of service, Dr. Claud Anderson. You are truly a living legend. We thank you once again. We appreciate you. So yeah, a real big major salute to Dr. Claud Anderson, living legend. Things just haven't been the same since you gave me the game. Like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Get down in the comment section. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Dr. Claud Anderson. I am Chesley Major, and this has been a Black History Month special edition. So feel free to smash up the likes and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.